Okay, quick video on minimum pay requirements. Minimum pay has been in effect for about 4 years. We determined it was good for the employees and it was good for PTS, the company. This is about the requirements for minimum pay. And it's what's required to keep it in effect. First of all, you got to be here 30 days. Keep in mind, though, the first 2 weeks that you're here, you do get minimum pay. The first month that you're here, we're looking to see how well you're grasping what you learned out of orientation. But the first 2 weeks, we don't want you worrying about trying to make a living. But we think after 2 weeks, you should be pretty good shape and be able to run just like normal. So that's one of the requirements. That's a fairly easy one. You have to be available 24/7. What does that mean? It means that you're not sick for one of the days, or your co-driver's not sick for 2 of the days, or this or that. It also means that, let's say that I ran out of hours this week. Well, last week I had very good hours, but this week I'm not available. Now, why is that when you run out of hours that you're not available for minimum pay? One of the main reasons is that we had a driver when this first went into effect 4 years ago, and he had 40 hours of not on duty, not driving. Now, take a look at your logs and tell me when's the last time you had 40 hours of on duty, not driving, and only allowing you 30 hours of driving time. It's how the company gets paid. It's how we charge our customer. We couldn't stay in business if we had that. So you do need to be available 24/7. Another requirement is holidays. We suggest that you're home on all the major holidays, but there's about 3 of them that I understand you're not going to qualify for minimum pay, but it's because you can only work 6 days, not 7. You also get paid, typically you're paid for the Monday that you deliver on last week. Now you go to Tuesday when you deliver to get paid, and we back it up. But that week that has either a Martin Luther King Day, a Veterans Day, or a President's Day, most people don't go home. They're still out working, but they're not going to make much money. So we don't have minimum pay because you're not available to work the 7 days. Why is it that when you're late, maybe it's traffic, maybe it's driver error, maybe it's weather related to a pickup or delivery, how come you don't get minimum pay? Well, it could affect your ability to string out, in that you were supposed to do this, this, and this. They had it all planned out, but when you were 3 hours late, you never made the pickup that day that was supposed to happen in the afternoon that was 3 hours away. So what happens to dispatch? They call the point of contact to say, look, our truck's running late, they need to reschedule. So they do all of this. We burn up these resources trying to make up for this. Also, they burn up the resources of writing the report for the SDDC as to why this product is late, either picking up or delivering. And then we write that report up for the SDDC. Then we also may have to send another truck to make a pickup somewhere along the line, and generally it's going to be more deadhead miles, because the reason you were doing it is because you were the closest to the pickup, and that's how they determined that you were going to do it. Company burns up more money with sending someone else. One of the most difficult for me was a weather delay, but we make you captain of the ship. If you look at how many times has weather made you late to a pickup or delivery over the last 2 years, it's not very often. Everyone I've talked to, it's not very often. But here's the problem. Let's assume that you sit on Cheyenne Mountain because it's too foggy. You're not comfortable driving. And we paid minimum pay, right? Let's assume we had 3 trucks drive by you on Interstate 80 within the last 2 hours at 70 miles an hour. I'd be very tempted to call and say, why is it that 3 trucks drove by you at 70 but you can't drive? And particularly if this had happened 2 or 3 times in the past few months, I don't want to be in that situation. I understand that other driver might be a fool. He might have more experience than you. He might have better tires. He might have a heavier load. I'm not going to get into that. I want you being safe, and I want you to be the captain of the ship. How can we do it? By saying, look, you are the captain of the ship. We rely on your decisions that you make. It could take you out of minimum pay. We understand that. But don't forget, come on, what's the chances of getting 3,000 miles only? So now you're talking 1,000 miles at 55 cents a mile, $550. You split it with your co-driver, you got $250. And you're going to risk turning this truck over in the median because I don't want to lose $250. Err on the side of safety. It's what got you here. Also, our insurance company wouldn't write you if you turned over a truck. Can you imagine looking for another job and saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, I had a rollover," and see how many people, how many good companies are interested in hiring it. Other thing is shops pre-trip home time. Shops. We want you doing good pre-trips, okay? We want you being proactive in the maintenance. So you're out of minimum pay when you're in a shop. Also, look at it this way. You go on home time, and then you come out of home time and you say, uh-oh, look at this, my truck runs rough, I'm gonna put it in the shop. So you put it in the shop 30 miles from your house, then you go home. We pay you minimum pay for the week. You sit home, you make $1,000 or $1,200 for the week. No, we want you putting your truck in the shop on your home time so that you're proactive in this, so that you and the company can make a living. Now you can see in that last scenario, there's no way we could offer minimum pay. No company could under that scenario. So we say, look, when the truck's in the shop, you're out of minimum pay. Next thing is home time. This is a real simple one. If you can turn that off for a second, I'm going to go.
Yep.
Okay, so home time. You're going to go on home time, and let's assume you want to be home Thursday. Gives dispatch till Friday to get you home. Okay, and today is a Monday. You want to deliver. Well, let's assume you live here in Morgan, North Carolina, Morganton, North Carolina, and you're delivering Monday up in Letterkenny, Pennsylvania. Okay. Monday you've delivered. We have a load up in Port that picks up right at Letterkenny going to Port Hadlock, Washington. It's not possible for me to give you the load going to Port Hadlock, Washington, because you want to be home Thursday or Friday. So you've limited dispatch through your need to go on home time. You've earned it, it's yours, and all those things, but you can't expect that the company could afford to pay minimum pay in this scenario, because the company would have made good money, you would have made good money. This is why you have hard time and soft time. Your daughter's getting married on Friday. You want to be there. Absolutely. That's a hard home time. You got to be there. So you're not going to make much money, because all I can send you to is Oklahoma, Texas, maybe up here, right? So you're going to have some limited miles. Next thing is, if you give a soft home time, says, I've been out for 5 weeks, I just want to go home, pick up the mail, do those things, you put in a soft. They will absolutely send you out of that Letterkenny up there, and they're going to get you back home on Tuesday probably rather than this Thursday. And that's fine with you, and it's agreed because it was a soft home time. So you will make more money. Also coming out of home time, if you come out of home time so that you can pick up Monday morning at 8 o'clock, we have never not paid minimum pay in that. While it may not be required in the policy, but you can see that if you can't leave your house until 8 o'clock Monday morning, I can't have you pick up basically until Tuesday in general, okay? There's no way you can work a full week. That's why the home time takes you out of minimum pay, okay? Those requirements are necessary so that it can be in there for everybody. And those are the requirements. This is just to kind of run over them. People here are always available to answer any questions on it, but it is also in your home time and compensation section. That should take care of this, Phil.
The internal converters, right?
I'm sorry, what?
The trucks have inverters.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I did not want to dig through. I think it's in my bag.